We're going to welcome you to the special edition of the Principals Podcast. This is a one-on-one interview. And if you were here for the last 15 minutes, you could have seen technology at its finest. We're using Zoom today because we were having Google problems. But I'm very pleased to bring in Rebecca Fullerman into today's podcast. She is one of the key members of Executive Student Council. She and I meet pretty much daily during fifth period as she does some ed options where she works for the district in communications. It's a pleasure and joy to bring you today. Rebecca, how are things going?
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm going well. We're coming up on homecoming, which is very exciting and a good time, and definitely a key part of student council. So I'm excited to see it all come together.
So the purpose of this podcast is we put out a lot of communications, you included, the weekend reflection, Mrs. Mish, your stuff, Mrs. Giddings, but this is another opportunity for us to talk about this week. So you are one of many members of the Executive Student Council. Since you were the most readily available, and we connect the most, I wanted to bring you on this podcast to talk about Spirit Week. What have we done? What's still left? And what's happening tomorrow, Friday?
Yeah, so we bounced off of last year's idea of doing like prizes for those who participate in Spirit Week. So every day we've had volunteers picking students and giving them tickets, and then we've just randomly polled a student, and we've had a JBL speaker, a mini fridge. We have lots of gift cards, and it seems to really help our participation, our school spirit. And then as far as themes, we did Monday Pajama Day. That's always a good one. We did barbecue dads versus soccer moms, which was very funny. That was another idea from last year that we copied. Then we did anything but a backpack day, which we've done the last few years. That's been very successful. Some of my favorites were someone had a toilet. Someone brought in their nightstand. I brought in what did I bring in? Like a beach bag. So my mom's beach bag, and it was actually very convenient. Last year I brought in my mom's laundry basket. And then tomorrow is homecoming shirts. So the couples that run for court can campaign using t-shirts. And so students can buy them. And that is going to happen at the assembly tomorrow. You can wear your shirt and show your spirit. And then today's Disney Day. We tried to go off the Once Upon a Time theme that's homecoming on Saturday night. And so I'm wearing my Tinkerbell today. And I saw someone as Mickey Mouse. I've seen different princesses and some simple, just like Mickey shirts.
That's awesome. So tomorrow is the assembly. It's during topper time. It's 20 minutes. Obviously, the court's parents are going to be able to attend. All seniors can attend, and anyone wearing shirts during topper time. We'll dismiss students to get down there. We'll do the assembly. For those who haven't seen the assemblies before, it's going to be on Boxcast, but it's our executive student officers reading off the court and their little biography. And then there's the voting that takes place. So voting is grades 8 through 12 because it is the entire student body that gets to vote for their king and queen. They can vote for king, they can vote for queen, they can vote for best homecoming video. They can also vote for homecoming song. And then you are a part of the band or part of the entire orchestra of the band, which is majorettes, toperettes, and all of the cheer. So tomorrow, 5:30 is the floats. Do you want to give us a little update on that?
Yeah, so all grades are, including eighth grade, are invited to have a float following the Once Upon a Time theme. Um, so we have the band leads off the parade with the police escort. We make a little loop around Allen Drive, and then we circle back through by the Chardon Education Early Learning Center. And different grades can throw candy. There's a lot of topper spirit around, and everyone gets excited. And then the crowning of the king and the queen is before the game, before kickoff at 7. We're playing Kenston. It'll be a really fun game. And then it's a jersey out from the Crazies, so we hope to see a lot of people there. And then as far as the parade goes, the couples are also invited to have like sometimes they do convertibles or all kinds of different kind of cars, and then they can go in the parade as well.
And so let's talk about a student council because you've been planning this since July, and you've been working with all different grade levels and members at large. When do they decorate? And talk a little bit about that leading into the dance.
Yeah, so we usually go right after halftime and we stay pretty late into the night. We've gotten like snacks and pizza the last few years, and every grade is assigned a different hallway or a different area. And then every grade is responsible for their own decorations, and we all kind of come together and work as a team to put the reality in. And then the next day on a Saturday, it turns into magical dance. And this year, again, it's Once Upon a Time. And then on Sunday morning, we tear it all down. And then we are hoping to keep as many materials from this year that we can keep for future years and reduce waste and keep sustainability. And we have a nice storage closet for student council. And that way we can use things from year to year.
Yes, that you were instrumental in making happen. So that's really important as we look at try to sustainability. There's nothing worse than like getting rolls and rolls of paper, decorating them, then ripping them down and never being able to use it again. So there's going to be um, obviously there's certain things that are cardboard. There are certain things that are consumable. But would you say that a lot of the things you're going to have is more like there's a lot of fabric and lights and things like that that you can use year to year?
Yeah, that's the hope. And yeah, over the summer, I reorganized the closet as my Girl Scout Gold Award. So I'm actually finishing up my 80 hours and hoping to submit it in the next month or so. I was waiting until after homecoming so that I can like see the finished product and everything going back into its place after this year. But we made sure that all of the lights, like all the batteries work. We just like so come Sunday morning, if anything happens to break, we're not storing it broken and we are properly disposing it. Electronic recycling is something I'm big on, just making sure everything is put in its place. And if we happen to dispose of it, it's disposed of properly. Or if we can keep it for any reason, we can keep it in a proper storage space.
That's extraordinary. And you are doing something that's never happened here at Chardon High School. You are actually working in the kind of the communications department with Mrs. Mish. Uh, we've had students work with GTV, like uploading photos to the cafeteria stuff, but you're doing a more working with staff, connections with other schools, taking photos, writing little write-ups. Can you give us a highlight of that?
Yeah, it was a experience that she presented to me, and I've just had like an absolute blast doing it. It's something I'm interested in pursuing after, or like through college, and something that I'm interested in doing professionally after college. And yeah, it's been really fun being able to go. Like I went down to the middle school for their back to school bash, and it was really great seeing kids. It's activity sponsored by their PTO and being able to like publicize that and the generosity um, and talk to the students, get some quotes from them. Or I photographed a project for the crew here at Chardon, which is a really cool career based program, and Mrs. Armbruster came in and presented to them. So it was really interesting to see that presentation and how the students reacted to it, and then how they're going to be like employed. And I like seeing like the other side of the district. Like I'm a student, but then I'm able to see like how the high achievement is like put in everything that we do, and just like the reasoning behind it all.
Were you in eighth grade when we were in the COVID era?
Yeah, COVID was spring my 8th grade year.
So, you started to join our podcasts in the early infancy. We kind of had a nickname for your family, the Foreman Five, because you, your sister, your brother, everyone would be on. And remember, we used to start it with like cahoots, daily cahoots, that
Yes,
Chaim
I
would put
do.
on. That was a lot of blast, a lot of fun. And just watching your growth and development has been extraordinary. Same with your sister. I know we have more coming. And so, I don't want to take any more time from your lunch period before you head off to other things. So uh, we really appreciate you joining us. We're looking forward to a great weekend. And obviously, all the great things that people will be able to see through your communications. Some of it will be highlighted in the week of reflection this week. So you'll get some credits for all of the work you've been doing. Great work to the entire Executive Student Council. You can ask Rebecca. We've tried to have meetings with all of them at the same time. It's almost impossible. It almost all of the time would have to be after school, but not on certain days because they're always doing something before school, middle of the day. It's been impossible. So again, thank you for representing a large sum of student body for Executive Student Council. Is there any shout outs you want to give this week?
Well, I would say a shout out to Mr. Chenoweth, Mrs. Giddings, and then you for your support at student council and the homecoming. That it takes so much work, and again, like dating back to July when we've started, and we've been having meetings pretty much weekly since then, and making sure things are coming in, and if like we had something get canceled, and how can we pivot, and how can we order something or improvise, and just it's a big process, and there's so many students involved to make it a success, and we couldn't do it without you.
Agreed. My shout out goes to them also, minus myself. I'm just, it's part of the job. Um, Chen, Mrs. Giddings, amazing. All of our student council members, including those that are joining us through members at large. Now the work needs to get done. So it's going to be a big week. I hope that you come visit and see a little bit of their decorations, maybe before the dance. You're certainly welcome to. GTV will be taking photos. I will also do the same thing, but let's make it a memory to not only once upon a time, but let's make it the memories for the moment for this class. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having
Everybody,
me.
absolutely. And as always, go Toppers.
Go Toppers.